Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Becoming Her Diaries, where I share my journey of becoming my highest self in the hopes of inspiring you to do the same. This week is all about rest. And for my Black women, my BIPOC women out there, y'all, we have to do better. We have to do better at rest. And for me, I find that I align rest with guilt. There is always some type of guilt that comes from anytime I try to rest at all. And I wait until I am so fatigued that there is nothing else that I can do except lay on my back and completely lay still and fall asleep. And it shouldn't come to that. And so this week we are talking about the relationship between rest and guilt, where it may stem from, and what techniques that I'm using that hopefully can help you as well to find a way to have a healthy relationship with rest and relaxation. So, starting with why I feel guilty for resting. This goes all the way back to college for me. When I was a student, I felt like my most productive time was when I was in class because there was no decision making process for me. It was very obvious that this is where you are supposed to be at this scheduled time, and this is the best use of your time. I found it very stressful to plan out the rest of my day for studying, for social activities, for personal health and wellness. That was just so confusing to me. And even now as an adult, I find that I struggle with the same situation. And I really do think that a lot of that has to do with a poverty mindset when it comes to rest and relaxation. I am someone who is either extremely highly motivated or I am just clonked out. Don't ask me to do nothing. And because I know those periods are going to come, when I do have motivation, I speed through it. I try to get as many things done as possible and without rest. And if I start to get tired when I'm in a high motivational state, I will push through because I'm like, no, I'll crash later or I won't feel like doing it later. If I rest, I still won't feel like doing it. If I take a nap, I'm going to lose momentum, a fear of losing momentum, which is very much rooted in a poverty mindset. Like there won't be time or motivation later when I'm actually going to be on this planet for probably another like 70 years. So, of course, I have time to get things done. But when we're in that state, it doesn't feel like it. And it can feel guilty to take a break and to rest when you have things to do, when you have people relying on you versus actually taking the moment to say, oh, I'm just going to rest now and I'll come back to this later. This was something that I saw a lot. My father is very good at this. Like he will just lay down and be like, I'm going to just rest. And I'm like, are you taking a nap? He said, no, I'm just going to lay here and rest my eyes and just relax. No, I am constantly moving. And I feel this guilt in my heart when I also try to rest and I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch TV because I hear this mantra in my head saying, well, if you got energy to watch TV, you have energy to do this, versus that it is my way of decompressing. I love stories. I love reading, whether it's watching TV, it doesn't matter. I just love a story and an escape from my actual life. And so that is rest to me, that is relaxation to me. And I had to really figure out how to not feel guilty for those things. I would even notice when I'm working, when I used to have a 9 to 5, I rarely ever took an entire day off. And it felt really, really weird to take an entire day off without something connected to it. So I don't think I ever really took a day off in my career actually to just sit in my house and be still and do nothing. If I took a day off, it was either I wasn't feeling well, I had a commitment with a personal connection, or I had to travel for something, a family commitment, it didn't matter. But I don't think I ever was healthy, feeling good, and was just like, I'm going to take today off. Anytime that I did something similar to that, I was on the verge of tears and couldn't work. And so I was like, I can't go into the office because I can't hold my emotions right now. I can't hold space for anybody else, which means that I can't fulfill my role properly. So I'm going to stay home. Now that I work for myself, I can get something done all day, every day, and there's always something else to do. So finding that balance is harder and even more important now than ever. Being an entrepreneur means that I can work Sunday morning. I can literally wake up, film videos. I can send emails 24/7. I can day trade futures most hours of every single day and every single night. And I see people doing it and you want to do it. You see someone winning, making a trade at like midnight. And you're like, oh my God, I should have stayed up. Like this was so clean. Da, da, da. No, rest. And honestly, it really just comes back to a poverty mindset of what do you think is going to be available to you? What do you think you're missing out on if you rest? And why do you think you're going to be behind because you took a nap or because you took a couple of days? over the grand scheme of your life, it looks so crazy looking back, but in the minute that you're in it, don't let me slow down. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. Now I am having to personally incorporate that rest and not feel guilty about it because it is actually what I need. And I know that I will come back stronger on the other side. It just doesn't feel like that in the moment. And now that I know that it won't feel like that, I will still sit down and be like, it's fine. Is anything due today? No? Okay, sit down. Is anything due tomorrow? Can we get this done? Yes? Okay, well, we're going to sit down now. So even yesterday, I had a brand commitment that I had, and it was due by midnight last night. And I still sat in my bed and read for 4 hours, and then later that day, I was like, okay, this is going to take 5 minutes. Let's just do it now. But I rested first. And for me, that's, y'all don't know, but that's growth. Okay. I'm very proud of myself. The next question I asked myself with this is, what does healthy productivity look like? I don't think I ever knew what healthy productivity looked like because I never practiced it. I was always just practicing productivity until you crash or until you burn, and then you rest, recover, and repeat. That is not sustainable. I now know that productivity means balance. What does healthy productivity look like for me? At this point, it is time bound and task bound for myself because I can run away with things. And so now I bind all of my activities to a time limit. For instance, when it comes to cold emails, I will set up a 90-minute Pomodoro method style time block to get that thing done. And if it doesn't get done by the end of that time, I will look. And I did this earlier today. I was like, okay, I sent 4 emails. I wanted to send 5. How long will it take me to send this last email? And if it doesn't take that long, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, then I'll do it. If it's going to take more than 20 minutes, it has to be pushed to the next time block. I also have now committed to not sitting at my computer for more than 2 hours straight. Cannot do it because I will sit at that laptop for 12 hours. And then the next day, I will have a sore throat. I will not be able to function at all. And that is not sustainable because it then takes me 2 days to get back to normal versus you could have just done 5 to 7 hours today, another 7 tomorrow, another 7 the next day, and you would have got to 21 versus just getting to 12. I actually wrote this in here for my own notes is that time, there should be breaks and not just one every 4 hours like a traditional workday. That was my work life, and copying that into your personal life is not sustainable. I was one of those people that would sit at my laptop. I am one of those people that would sit at my laptop and meeting hop from like 8 to 11. And if I was taking them at home, it was a little easier because then I can at least like my bathroom's in my apartment. I could just leave it on speaker or something like that. But when I was in the office, it was just like meeting, 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 meeting. Now I'm like trying to run to the restroom in between meetings, and that was it until there was a break. If I had a lunch break, sometimes I didn't have a lunch break, and I would just keep going and keep going and keep going. That is not healthy and that is not sustainable, and it's not something I advise people to do. I get that there are seasons in work where that is your only alternative, but now that I am an entrepreneur, I make sure not to put myself in those situations because it is even easier to do so now because there is just an endless list of things that I want to accomplish and want to get done. One of the things that I've done to help me with this, and this is great also if you work a 9 to 5, is I aim to drink a gallon of water every single day. And if you are drinking a gallon of water within a 10-hour time span, you will be going to the bathroom every 90 minutes. I promise you. Like it is very difficult to drink a gallon of water during your workday and not have to go to the bathroom. For some people, it's every 60 minutes, but it requires you to get up from your desk and requires you to move, which is why I liked it so much. And I started doing this the last few months that I was working, and it made a big difference. Also, my step count because I had to walk so far. Like, it was an old factory building. So like you have to walk pretty far to go to the bathroom. But that way you'll also get yourself moving. And during that walk time, occasionally if I didn't have like an immediate meeting, I would go to the bathroom and then circle the building outside and then come back inside. Which of course I live in Southern California, so we have weather like that. You can do it all year long, but definitely at least just walk around the building, get your steps in, get moving, get that lymph fluid kind of moving around because it's so easy to just keep pushing, and that is not healthy productivity. That's not healthy rest. Being in a 8-hour workday makes rest feel difficult, and so you do have to put in intentional effort to find a healthy balance. whether it's going to your car. I used to do this as well. I used to go to my car for like a 15-minute meditation. If it was cool enough that I could just put my windows down and just sit back, do a 10-15 minute meditation and come back inside the building. I have a goal of not being done and fatigued, that it's okay to be tired and it's okay to be ready for a break, but it's not okay to have a headache and to only be able to make it with a Celsius. That is a direct quote. That was another unhealthy habit that I built in 9 to 5 that I have broken as an entrepreneur is I was drinking 2 Celsius a day. That's not okay. Don't do that, guys. Don't be like me. I was drinking 2 Celsius a day and a coffee, a double shot of espresso a day. There is times where you shouldn't let it get that far. That was not sustainable long term. Luckily, that was just for a couple of years, so it's not the end of the world, but it is something that really gave me perspective on how tired I actually was and how much I was pushing through and really not listening to my body. And there are consequences to that, and I'm not a doctor, so it's not medical advice at all. But I would say notice how you feel when you're on vacation, when you've slept, and how much caffeine you need to take, how many vitamins you need to take to feel energized versus how much you need when you are going to work and being that consistent. And of course, like there are periods in our life, right? I said this earlier where you have to push through for a short amount of time for a long term gain. That's understandable. But when it becomes like a 3 year or 5 year like thing that you're doing where you're drinking 3, 4 Celsius a day to get through the day. Girl. So now to the actual lesson. And if you skipped here, totally understandable. Okay. We just talked about some of the ways I noticed that I wasn't balancing. And so here are the ways that I currently balance. Starting with, I create a must do list and a might do list. There are 3 to 4 things on my must do list every single day. And then I have a might do list. And I kind of treat this like kindergarten, where, you had like little stars. And if you got more stars, then cool, but you didn't have to get any stars any day, or like there was like a base level that everyone should be getting for just standing in line. I kind of treat it the same way. So I have a few tasks that I have to do, and then there are might do's, which are nice. But if they don't, they just fall over to the next day. And those are things that don't have deadlines, or that the deadlines are far enough out that it's okay if they swing a little bit. I'm definitely one of those people that pushes to the end of the deadline if I can choose rest in between and if it isn't going to ruin a working relationship. Next, on top of my to do list, I also connect my to do items every day to my larger 12-week year goals. So every quarter, I do a 12-week year calendar. I set goals for that. And then I look at my must do and my might do list and I see how they connect to that goal. So right now, we're at the end of Q1 going into Q2. So when I look at my Q1 goals now in March, I look at them a little differently and a little more intentionally than I did in January when I had a bit more time to get to my end goal. Basically, if it's January and kind of like if you have a report due in college, you start doing research, but those aren't your primary objectives. Getting your immediate homework done is what you focus on first. And then you eventually, like if it was between doing your homework that's due tomorrow or doing your project tonight that's not due for 3 weeks, you pick your homework, right? I kind of put that same mentality towards my long term goals and how I'm immediately taking steps to achieve them. I also do my time sensitive tasks regardless of how much I enjoy them, and I try to do them first thing in the morning. The whole eat the frog concept really works well for me because it allows me to feel like a really good person throughout the day. So I could switch to day trading in the evening. I've been considering it, but I do like that I day trade right when I wake up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning because it's hard for me. It's a very emotionally strenuous task for me right now. And if that will change probably over time. But for now, it's my frog. So I do it first thing in the morning. Any emails I have to send, I usually am done with emails by 11 o'clock in the morning. And then my afternoons, like right now, are with the creative fun stuff that I enjoy, like filming and editing and reading, all those types of things. This was a big one. I stopped eating and working. Oh, don't eat and work. Y'all, I know doctors tell you this all the time, but when I tell you the difference it makes, I don't care if you're reading, I don't care if you watch TV, I don't care if you listen to music or you just eat in silence, but don't work and eat. When I tell you, I don't know what it does, and I'm sure there's some cortisol, chemistry, science reason for why you shouldn't do it, but just you don't got to look it up. You'll notice. you will notice the difference. The enjoyment of food and nourishing your body should not be brought down by your job. So even now, I will take a break. I'll find like a 30-minute episode or something to watch and eat and just relax and actually enjoy my food because I never used to do this. I would eat in meetings all the time. And my mother would always tell me, don't do that. It's not good for you. And I now see why. Don't do that, guys. You can look up the reason. I'm pretty sure it's stress, cortisol, or something like that. And so here's my last one for making sure that I rest well. And that is making sure, even on the days that I rest, and if I've taken like a 3 hour nap, I still make sure that I write down every micro task that I have accomplished for the day. On the days where I rested and I'm feeling guilty for the rest, I will list out everything that would be on someone's to do list. So, not just, oh, I filmed this video or I responded to a couple of comments. Those are on there. But also, I emptied the dishwasher. I refilled the dishwasher. I folded the towels, right? Like, those are all things I didn't have to do today, but I still chose to do them on top of choosing rest and on top of choosing my body. That way I don't sit there, because let's be clear, very few of us rest all day and don't get anything done. Those aren't the people I'm talking to. I'm talking to the Black women who will be like, oh my gosh, I took a 4 hour nap. Girl, you did so much that morning and you napped from 1 to 5. But you still went to Costco this morning. You still got the veggies from Aldi's. You still dropped the kids off at daycare. Like, you did all these things and you still had time to rest. And if you look at your long term goals, which is why I have that one in here as well, you will see that you are still on track to meet them. You are. And that right there was a lesson in itself for me, that I can rest well and often and still accomplish everything that I want in life, sometimes even faster than what I planned, because I took the time to put my body first and I took the time to rest. So I hope that this inspires you to do the same. I hope you guys are resting well and coming into this new quarter and this new season well rested, fulfilled, and ready to just take on the second half of the year, because it is right around the corner. It's going to sneak up on us, y'all. I can feel it right now. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing month, an amazing year, and I will see you guys next time. Rest easy.